Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us this morning on a Friday morning. Seems like it's been a while. Last was on the show on Monday. Then we had the State of a College events. Took up a couple of days in our schedule. So no shows on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Sade was here yesterday. So in essence, I've had like a free week, right? Yeah, sure. No, we were doing other things. Randy Ramsey, our HCC film faculty member and the executive director of Southwest Alternate Media Project, joins me as my Friday co-host. Did you have a busy week, Randy?
I had a super busy week. It's, we're rolling on toward the end of school and, my kids keep me rocking and rolling. We are heading toward the end of rugby season for them. So fingers crossed, my son's team knows whether they get in tonight. So to the state finals. So we're excited.
You got a lot going on. And so I know, are you still traversing across the whole city? Because every time I talk to you, it's like,
yes.
Well, I'm going to Galveston tomorrow, the Woodlands the next day,
Yeah, we're headed down to see the tall ships this weekend too. But we're also, we've got the Latino Film Fest coming up. We have a lot on our schedule. We're super excited. But, also prepping for Swamp Summer Camp right there at HCC. So that's coming up. Got a lot of gathering to do. The kids love to have us do period films. So I'm forever picking up odds and ends for that.
Well, you've got a lot going on and it's a Friday though.
It is.
That's the good thing about it. We want to thank everyone for joining us this morning on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're here just about every day that HCC is in session. Live at 10 a.m. They can also this week we were off Tuesday and Wednesday. We weren't really off. We were doing other things, other important things. But regardless, you can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube when we're on the air, and they can also catch us on social media and on our channel as well.
Yep. And then in HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10, Monday through Friday. Super excited. We have a great show today, Todd.
We do. And we're going to talk about the Latino Film Festival that you just kind of gave a plug to. We're going to talk with Dave in just a second. But first, I want to interview the person you'll be interviewing, Timor Sever. Tim is the Dean of Mathematics at HCC Southeast College. And I know you've got a lot of big things coming up as well, right, Tim?
Yes, sir. We certainly do.
So we want to hear all about that, Math Jam, everything that involves, and the Math Challenge. Stick around. Randy's going to be with you in about 10 minutes. Okay, once again, welcome to the show. He's been on before. Dave Cebrero is the festival director of the Houston Latino Film Festival. Welcome back to the show, Dave. I know you had your event last month. How did it go? Let's see if we can get you to unmute your mic. I think your mic's still muted. There we go.
About that. Thanks for having me. First of all, I'm glad to be back. It went fantastic. We had our best year yet, the best attendance we've had so far, and we've had the most film screenings this year that we've ever had. So everything went, fantastic. We were really, really happy.
What are some of the awards and categories that you covered and gave out awards for at your festival?
So this year we added two, and I'll have to look at a list here because it's changed from the past years, but we give awards out for a best feature narrative, best feature documentary, a best short narrative, best short documentary, and best student film, which is the cash award that we give out for $2,000. Right. And we added the best Texas film this year. So, and that covers all feature films and short films that played at our festival.
What was what won that award? That's the best Texas film. Do you remember what
Green Water
it was?
Green Water by Carlos Estrada, and it's a short film. It's a film short from Austin, Texas, and a young student, Carlos Estrada. Terrific film, shot on 16th millimeter. It looks fantastic.
And who were some of the other winners with some of the more notable films that you remember, whether they were winners or not?
Yeah, sure. Carajita, which was our opening film, won the best narrative feature film. And the actress, Magnolia Nunez, was in attendance that night, who also just got nominated for the Latino Awards for Best Actress, which is the Oscars in the Dominican Republic. and that one won our best feature film for our festival.
Do you remember a film that would have been, what was the film that really stood out from what you remember the audience really connecting with the audience? That was there one that maybe it didn't even win an award, but it really connected with the audience? And if you remember that, what was it?
Well, one thing that I forgot to mention is that we also have an audience award, and that usually takes about a week or two for us to tally all the votes. And one film that I remember that I think had like really a really good Q&A session and the audience connected with was The Pool of Nobodies, which is directed by a Mexican director by the name of Jose Luis Olivares. And he ended up winning the best feature film for for the audience award. But definitely that was a film that I felt like the audience connected really well with.
What was the subject matter of the film? Maybe you can briefly tell us about that from what you recall of it.
It's organized crime in Mexico, and the difference of that film from a lot of films. This is a topic that's been covered in a lot of Mexican independent films recently, but it dealt with a family that lived here in Texas. Actually, the East End gets mentioned in the film. So, and I think that was part of one of the questions one of the audience members asked, how the filmmaker, even found the connection there, right, and the story. But yeah, that was a film I felt like a lot of people connected with, and of course, our opening night film. I mean, that was probably one of the best turnouts, full house, and people just had a lot of questions about that one, mainly because it dealt with classism, racism,
right,
and something that you see a lot in Latin American countries. A lot of kids are being raised by nannies or their caretakers rather than their parents, and that's a theme in the film.
And that's Carajita, correct? Is that the one you were mentioning? Was the opening night? Okay. All right. Is there, for people who would like to see these films, is there a list on your website that they can go to and look at the films and maybe want to find them streaming somewhere?
Sure. Everything is on our website. If you go to HoustonLatinoFilmFestival.org, you can just go to festival schedule and you'll see the list of the films. Some of them are just started the festival circuit. For example, we had a couple of films that just premiered at Sundance earlier this year, and that's, at the end of January. So we're fortunate enough to be, maybe the second or third festival that plays those films, right? So it might take a while before some of these films, hit the streaming services.
Let's talk about how important it is for you to have inclusivity for Latinx filmmakers, specifically with this festival.
For sure. I want to say that, unfortunately, over half of these films, you probably are not going to see get wide distribution, right? You're not going to just go to AMC and see these films. And a lot of them, unfortunately, you're not going to see them like in your premier streaming networks like Netflix and so on. So it is important that people come out and see some of these films, not only because, just inclusivity, because they're fantastic films. The level of filmmaking and storytelling are top notch. One of the best comments that I hear during the festival is like, wow, I never even heard of this film and I've never seen a film like this. And just to walk into a festival and see a collection of films with these, the themes that people can relate to from back home, it's a big deal, especially if you're a filmmaker.
Right. You've been working with Match this year. How is that going? That was the main venue, right, for your films?
Yeah, so in the past, we started out in TBH in the East End, and I think at year 3 or 4, we started doing some screenings at the Match just because our audience was just growing. And then for the first time last year, we held the entire festival at the Match. So we rented out all 3 theater spaces and the gallery there, and so we just did everything. So at one point, we had 3 screenings going on at once.
Wow. So you guys had a lot going on there. And it's been quite a few years since I've been to Match, and it's good to hear they're still going strong. I know it does a lot for the community. Dave Cebrero, he is the festival director for the Houston Latino Film Festival. We appreciate you joining us on the show again. Congrats on this year's, and we look forward to a lot more successful years with you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to have all the information on the film festival in our post after the show, so check it out. Thanks, Dave. Take care.
You too.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I only made it to Carajita. I only made it to the first night. 130 Children is streaming, though. I have found it streaming, so I'm excited to catch up on that this weekend.
Fantastic. That's a good film. Thank you.
It is a good film. It's toward the end of its festival circuit life, so. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. So go ahead and take a look at the film list and look for them as they become available streaming, because there's great stuff.
Yeah, one thing I just want to mention real quick. Whenever we find out that some of these films get distribution, we will announce it like on our social media, so you can find a way to stream it or see it.
Yeah, I think 130 Children is streaming as part of another festival.
Okay.
It's like in the online component of another festival.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It was on my list. I just couldn't get down there for the second day, but it was a great festival.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Randy, we'll turn things over to you because we're going to be talking math now, switching gears. But hey, math can be fun, as Tim's going to tell us.
Absolutely.
That's right. Welcome back, Tim. Thanks so much for being here. Mathematics Dean at HCC Southeast. I'm super excited. Both of my kids love math, and they're like mathletes. So they're excited. They were excited I was talking to you today. So let's start with the HCC Math Challenge.
Sure. So the HCC Math Challenge is our 3rd annual event, and it's going to be April 21st. We have 217 registrants at this time. So we're full. We really top it off at 200. So we have 217. So we're good to go there.
So what does the Math Challenge involve?
The Math Challenge, it's a math competition that we developed here at HCC. And it's our own homebrew competition, so to speak, centered at the college algebra level, which means it's going to appealing to most, if not all, college level math students, with a little bit of trigonometry problems at the end. It's about 40 questions or so.
And that's on the 21st.
21st.
And they compete live, how do you decide who's winning?
Yeah, well, we have not complicated, we have a system for ranking the winners. And what's complicated is if you have tiebreakers. So we have worked through all that, and basically the number of questions correct, also some tie-breaking potential there to determine who the winner is. And we have great prizes for our students. We have a summer for the top prize, summer research opportunity with UHD, which, we're happy to partner with them on that. I think the second prize is a tablet, a fancy new tablet. Third prizes are some calculators. And then once we get down to we have the next tier, we'll have 10 or so fourth prizes, which are gift cards. From then we go down to gift cards. So we start at 9, check-in. The competition's at 9:30 to 11:30, I think. We have a lunch program. We have a lunch program with puzzles and games and a little show we put on while the grading is going on. And we do the award ceremony at 1:00.
Nice. I mean, a research opportunity, that's a pretty good award.
That is an excellent award. I think it comes with a $500, don't quote me, I think it's a $500 stipend that is accompanying the research. So it's summer research. And last year, the winner did, it was biology, bioinformatics. So it's not just pure math. So the research opportunity can extend outside of the mathematics discipline. It's an excellent opportunity for our students.
Yeah, and it sounds amazing. So in addition to that, because you have so much going on, you also have math days coming up. Tell me about that.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, math days, it's our final exam review sessions. We put what we think is kind of a cool title, Math Days. We wanted to kind of suggest, hey, everything stops at HCC and we center on mathematics on these math days. It really was one day in the beginning. Now it's extended to Friday and Saturday, Friday morning, afternoon, some sessions Friday night, and the remainder of the sessions Saturday morning. And this is where we basically work through we have the published final exam review packets that all students get, and all students in these courses have the links in their Canvas shells where we talk about, the reinforcement of learning, improved test-taking strategies, time management. Think about that, studying for yourself rather than studying in a group, setting led. And by the way, this is led by full-time faculty. So time management builds confidence for the students. That they have reduced anxiety going into the final. And, in a way, with preparing these types of packets, it does a lot, but it helps with better organization of study materials, because these are departmentally produced, sanctioned study guides.
Cool. And are those math jams, or is that a separate thing?
And the math, we have so much fun. The math jams are separate, right? So the math days are into the semester. It's a summative type thing when you're taking your final exam. The math jams, originally it was called the Friday math jam. Okay, so it was just on select Fridays, almost every Friday throughout the semester. And that's a good way to think of it. Let me back up. The math days, end of semester. Math jams.
Are the math days virtual or in person?
Virtual. We started, of course, pre-COVID. They were all in person. Once COVID hit, we went virtual. Last year, we tested the waters with bringing back the in-person. They were not, I don't want to say they weren't well received, but they just didn't have the attendance that the online sessions had. So this year, we're going back virtual, and the math jam sessions are all virtual as well. We created those during the umbra, unfortunately, of COVID.
But isn't that great, though, for the students? Because they can access this great review, these terrific programs from, anywhere, from their job,
of their
from
convenience,
their home.
And when you think about setting up and scheduling the logistics, we had to have, we have 20 campuses, 5 major colleges, 7 major colleges counting online, but 5 major physical colleges where we offer mathematics. And it's a logistical issue of how you spread these around the system when you do it in person, both with the math jams and the math days. Now that they're all virtual, that travel component, the location component, is now minimized, or it's reduced to essentially zero. It's just, are you free at the time at a location of your convenience where you can connect, log in and connect?
So what's the goal of the math jams?
Oh, the math jams. Same as the math days. Reinforce learning. It's a little different, I guess, because you're still learning. Identify areas on which you need support, right? Improved study skills, getting help with your Q&A. These are less structured than the math days. The math days, you're pretty much working through a final exam review packet. The math jams we don't want to call it tutoring because we don't want to compete with tutoring, because it's a little bit different. These also are led by full-time faculty. It's, intentional, one-on-one. They're small groups. So the average size is about 7 or 8. Sometimes they go up to about 16, which is great. So you have I'll call it one-on-one FaceTime with your instructor over questions that you bring forth. And each of those sessions does have a little structure to it, so that we're not just sitting there waiting for students to ask questions. We have a plan for each of those days.
Well, I think that's great. What great reinforcement. Now, you have 1 minute, but I want to hear about what's up next for the math department, because you have plans.
We have a lot of plans. We're going to revamp the math jam sessions. That's the one that's harder to produce because it goes on throughout the semester. It evolved from Friday to Friday day to Friday night. Now we have it Saturday a little bit. So now we are going to extend that and add more sessions for students trying to span every single week of the semester come fall.
Wow.
That's impressive.
No, that's impressive. That's a lot of work on the part of the faculty and the administration, but what a great asset that is for our students.
Sure. We're all about student success, in the math department. We know that a lot of students have struggled historically with mathematics and have a lot of anxiety. That's what these sessions are about. Reducing the anxiety, trying to get the students more engaged in the classroom, more connected to their own learning and improving success.
And do you have any plans for the future of the math challenge?
Oh, yeah. The math challenge. We want to ramp it up to 300 students, wow. And improve the number of awardees that we can give. We want two research opportunities. And we're really at the same time trying to build our own research undergraduate research here within HCC. That's, difficult to do. It's a lot to build such a program from scratch, but that's our next phase.
Well, it sounds exciting, Tim. You're going to have to come back and tell us as it goes by. We're super excited.
Yeah, I would love to come back. And by the way, I'm always happy to be here and show the photos from the award ceremony. That'd be nice to do and talk about how it went and, see all the student connections. We had an excellent award ceremony last year, even though the event was virtual. We had an in-person award ceremony. It was great.
Thanks so much. Tim Sever, Mathematics Dean at HCC Southeast. And we'll have information about the challenge in the post after the show. Can't wait to see how it goes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. All right. Bye-bye. So, Randy, we've got some announcements, but we're going to talk a little bit about movies for a second, because I know you'll like this. You remember Back to the Future, right? I always thought Back to the Future was like an iconic 80s movie, kind of like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, some of the John Hughes movies. Well, they're doing a bit of a take on that at Central College. They're calling it Back to the Foodture.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's a culinary competition and tasting deal. The exciting interdisciplinary competition involves, here we go, HCC's biology, history, English, and get this, pastry arts students collaborating to create a video in bite-sized culinary delights. The judges will crown the Back to the Foodture champion for spring 2023. You can check this out. It is free. Everyone's welcome, and it's from 2:30 to 4 p.m. Tuesday, April the 18th at HCC Central Culinary Arts Building. Check it out. We'll have all the information.
I think us in the film department need to have a little chat with them, because I noticed they're making a video, but I didn't see HCC Film listed on there.
Well, maybe you should jump on.
I know we like little bites and food. We're very big foodies over there.
But I don't know if you know this, but over there at that new fancy schmancy building, where the Culinary Arts Building, it's incredible. They've got their own live streaming kitchen studio there. They press a button, they can just record it themselves.
Well, and what the heck do they need us for?
Exactly. But yeah, I would jump on that one. So there's also that we'll have all the information on that in our post after show. And there's a WebEx workshop on a very important topic, Black Mental Health Matters, coming up.
Yeah, you can join this virtual workshop. Always great to have accessibility to review the objectives of answering what is Black mental health. They're going to review causes and influences of Black mental health, barriers, and Black mental health facts, and what it looks like, and what is going on right now in the Black mental health crisis. That's 11 a.m. to 12:45 Wednesday, April 19th via WebEx. Check our post after the show. I think it's a really important topic and one that's not getting enough talk.
We're going to have all the information once again in our post after the show. Hey, students, check this out. There's a graduation cover contest happening. You can design the cover of the HCC commencement for 2023. As graduation approaches, HCC wants to make it a memorable event by showcasing students' design skills for the commencement ceremony cover for the spring 2023 and fall 2023 graduation programs. Your deadline to submit your entry is coming up Wednesday, April 19th. It's just around the corner, 5 p.m. Got to have them to us. And you can maybe see your drawing or artwork on the cover. Check our post after the show for registration. Okay, we're going to skip down for the sake of time to talk about summer registration because I know it's important to you. You're teaching this summer. And if students want to register, they need to do it quickly because the courses like yours, I'm sure, fill up fast.
They do. Actually, I'm teaching TV field and we fill up every summer always. So there's 5 ways to learn: online, anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, in-person, hybrid lab. Register now. You can go to hccs.edu/apply. And they'll fill up fast. And those are the quick, really short summer terms, and you can just jam it out.
Get it out of the way, but register today. Okay, kids, Monday on the show, it's Mental Health Monday. And one of our favorite guests, I think you may know her.
I know Sarah so well.
Sarah. Everybody knows Sarah. Everybody knows Sarah Gish.
Well, not everybody gets a Sarah Gish pen for Christmas.
Well, I almost did. I just, anyway, maybe not.
No, we love Sarah Gish. Sarah Gish will be here for Mental Health Monday to talk about one of her inspirational topics. And, and
Kimberly Penn, we love Sarah. She'll be here Monday. Also, Kimberly Penn of the Entrepreneurship Program will be here to talk about her work with drones. Check that out. Cool. That'll be pretty cool. That's all on Monday. I know you got a busy weekend ahead of you, so I'm going to let you get to that right now so you can get started with it. Thanks for being here, Randy.
Always love spending time with you, Todd. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday morning live 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute.